Well, welcome everyone to the 2026 Documoto customer event, our summit. This is our first summit in over a decade, so we're really excited to have you all here. And I think every single person that registered has actually shown up, so that's great. We have full attendance, so thank you guys. Before we jump into the presentation that I have here in the kickoff, I did want our event coordinators to stand up real quick. Aaron, Alex, Clark, you guys stand up. They have worked really, really hard to put this event together, so if we could all give them a round of applause. So I think all of you know, my name is Christa Bemis. I have been with Documoto for over 10 years. Started as an implementation person, trainer, did director of customer success, professional services, product. I kind of joke that the only thing I didn't do is code. And now I'm the managing director. I've been with that since January 2025, which just means I run day-to-day operations and interface with Milestone, even with Documoto. But a little bit about my background. So I've actually spent my entire career in aftermarket, starting when I was 18. And I was in college, I was working full-time at an ATM parts distributor. They served the retail ATM and cash industry, which was an industry that was severely underserved by the manufacturers that sold equipment. The equipment was $3,000 to $10,000 for an ATM machine, and they did not care about aftermarket. So my company and many others popped up to basically create refurbished ATMs. They sold card readers, stuff like that. So I've actually been in parts my entire career. And during my time in this space too, I've implemented a lot of different software. Warehouse management, inventory management, e-commerce, Documoto actually as a customer. And I also did the ISO 9001-2008 certification for that company. And with that experience on both the buyer and vendor side of software, I've noticed something that, documentation around processes and content and information and technology really doesn't become a priority until it's critical. And then people need it the very next day. It's in those moments where people realize everything's locked up in CAD, spreadsheets, OneDrive, some guy named Mike's. What? Is it on? Yeah, it's on. Can you hear me? You guys can hear me, but they can't. Well, start recording. All good? So some guy named Mike's head who's about to retire. And then you panic. Oh my gosh, Mike's going to retire. What are we going to do? He's going to walk out the door. And it's in that moment that you probably led many of you to Documoto. And now you're here meeting with other people who have similar challenges, whether it be in technical writing, aftermarket parts sales, customer experience. And we're really hoping at this conference that you guys have an opportunity to learn from one another. Let's see here. Yeah. So over the next couple days, we really hope this feels less like a traditional conference and more like a collaborative working session. As you guys can see, we have a kind of a small, intimate group here, so we want everyone to speak up and participate in this event. So let's jump in. We're going to cover 3 topics as part of this kickoff. Number 1 is the event and a number of admin items I have for you. Then I'll give you a brief update on Documoto, the company, and then our strategy going into 2026 and beyond. So admin items, there's quite a few. So everyone should have received a welcome bag in your room. If you did not receive it, please let us know. We want to make sure that you get one. In that welcome bag, there's some things that are significant to Colorado. You'll find green chili seasoning. If anyone spent any time in Colorado or the Southwest, you know that we like to cover everything in green chili. And so if you haven't had it before, you can get it on your way out at DIA, Concourse B on the 2nd level. There's a place to get green chili, so stop there and get it. You'll also find sunglasses and chapstick. We're at 8,000 feet here in Blackhawk, so make sure to protect your eyes and hydrate and protect your lips. And then a beer from a Colorado brewery that everyone probably knows, Breckenridge, but Colorado has a huge microbrewery culture, so I wanted to represent that. You guys probably also noticed the videographer and photographer in the back here. They're doing all of the sessions, so if someone could not attend and you want to share a particular session with them, they will all be made available to you after the summit. In addition, we're going to be using the content for marketing purposes, a launch video for our acquisition of CAD Share, case studies, testimonials. So in the event sign up, you did authorize us to take pictures and video of you. However, I will say, yeah, if you don't want us to post anything with you, just let a member of the Documoto team know, and we can make sure that we leave that video out. Oh, and they will be stopping some people asking for testimonial in the Whova app. We posted some questions that they would ask, really simple ones. We would really, really appreciate any testimonial. That's going to be the best way. People like to buy from others that they trust, and that are in this space. Wi-Fi is available. I'm sure you guys have all figured that out. Just connect to Monarch Wi-Fi, verify the T's and C's, and connect. Whova, if you haven't downloaded the app, you can use that QR code to do so. Agenda is posted there. You can find each other's social media information and so on. Let's see here. So you guys have probably figured this out too, but all of the meetings and sessions will be held here, and then all of our food events and breaks will be in Crystal 1 and 2. I actually don't know where the fire exits are, but I'm supposed to tell people. But back there. Okay, fire exits are back there. Now we know. And then just a reminder, I did say we're at high elevation. Please drink lots of water. People underestimate the value of water at this elevation, but it's going to prevent you from feeling any type of altitude sickness, which can happen over days. And then we will be taking breaks at least every 2 hours, typically about every hour and a half. So you guys will have plenty of time for that. And bathrooms are right back there if you have not found them yet. And then finally, for those who are attending the Argo Mill Mine tour tomorrow, you do need closed-toed shoes and a jacket, and we will be leaving promptly at 2:15 from the front of the resort, so don't miss the shuttle. Okay. Quick agenda review. So we're in the summit kickoff right now, Documoto update. Next up, we have Jesse Roy, who will be talking about CX as a growth system in manufacturing. It's going to be a great session about a framework that he's put together that is really awesome. And then Nicholas Magris at Manitou Group will be doing a spotlight on interoperability, which is a key strategic area that we've grown the product, and Manitou has taken full advantage of it. So excited to see that. And then we will do a breakout where we're going to break out into 4 different groups and talk about Documoto roadmap. I will actually start with a product demo of recent features. I know and many of you are interested in seeing some of the things we've launched recently. It's hard to keep up on release note videos. So we'll be covering that as part of the breakout, and then we'll be breaking out. And then CADshare, I think you guys know, we acquired a 3D-only competitor, CADshare, earlier this year. And Chris is the founder of that company. He will be introducing you guys to 3D catalogs and the technology he's been working on over a decade that we are going to bring into Documoto. Dinner, 5:30 to 8 tonight, again, over there. And then tomorrow, we'll be doing a panel discussion with 3 members of the audience from Getman, Stanley Black & Decker, and Manitou Group to talk about adoption and growth. We will be doing another breakout on specifically AI tomorrow. So today's breakout, we're actually going to not talk about AI as part of roadmap. Let's just save all of that for our conversation tomorrow. And then finally, we're going to wrap up with Grant at Capstone sharing how they are using Documoto, which they have a lot of really unique use cases, and how they're using parts books as well as microsites that we think is going to be really beneficial for the audience. And then optional event at 2. All right, so I kind of mentioned this earlier on, but we really hope that all of you came here with a curiosity to learn about how others are approaching the challenges that you are. Because we are such a small group, we really ask that you guys ask questions, share ideas, give comments and feedback. At the end of every session, we're trying to save about 15 minutes for Q&A. So we'd like you guys to speak up or grab someone after the session and talk to them about what they presented. And of course, honest feedback on what's working. The Documoto team here is here to learn from you guys. Yeah. And when you leave, we're hoping you leave with things you can apply immediately with Documoto. You've seen some things that you didn't even think about, features you have access to that you were not aware of. So practical ideas you can apply in your business, as well as a better understanding of those features, integrations and capabilities, and new perspectives on how to solve the challenges that you're working through. Oh, and before you leave, tomorrow, at the very end, we are actually going to have everyone get on their phone and complete a survey, just so we make sure we get 100% participation in that. It'll probably take about 10 minutes. As you're going through this and you're thinking about the sessions, because we'll ask you to rate every session, please think about the content, not the presentation skills of the person presenting. None of us are professional speakers here. Okay, that is all the admin stuff I have for you guys. So jumping in here, let's talk about the company. So I think everyone here knows we were acquired in December of 2024 by Valstone. Valstone is a buy and hold investor. So they actually purchased Documoto as an asset purchase. We were purchased from Digabit, the product and the people. And they, because they're not PE or VC organization, they don't do a capital investment. They are long-term. We want you to be a profitable and sustainable business. And as part of that, so really basically all of 2025, we spent our time integrating into Valstone. The other thing to be aware of is that they're decentralized. So they don't take over our roadmap. They don't make hiring and firing decisions. They really let us run the business, and they provide the operational support for us to do so. So they handle legal, HR, finance, and then we get to learn from other businesses within Valstone. We are part of the manufacturing group. They have other manufacturing companies, but they're part of different parts of the supply chain, like CDE and CAM companies. But we worked with Valstone to kind of stabilize the business, make sure that we were profitable. We looked at our operating expenses. We relocated our office to reduce our rent by 70%. A lot of that went on in 2025. And we also spent a lot of time re-looking at how we approach the market. Actually, 2024 and before, we really did not do any marketing. We had nothing on social media. We were not doing install-based emails, not updating our customers on what was available. So we invested a lot more in partnerships, sales and marketing, and go-to-market. And that's something we're going to continue into 2026, as you guys will see in our strategy. And we also deployed AI across our software development lifecycle. We have AI agents everywhere from product to QA. So we were able to improve our delivery velocity in 2025 with more output per engineer using AI. We also had a strategy refinement with mergers and acquisition backing from a larger company owning us. Rather than making major bets all of the time, we now have the ability to say, can we buy that technology? And that's really where CADshare came in, is that they had gone much, much further with 3D catalogs than we had. We'd already invested about $500,000 to $1 million in 3D, and it wasn't quite where we needed it. So we ended up acquiring, and now we're merging our companies. And that was in 2026. And then other priorities for us this year is, of course, reconnecting with you guys, the summit. That's been a big effort for us. We are expanding product investment through co-innovation partnerships with customers. So late last year, we launched the ability for our customers to really sponsor work on our roadmap if it's highly important to you and there's not a ton of other interest from other customers, or it's not strategic for us to work on that at this point in time. We allow our customers to actually partner with us on the acceptance criteria and direction we're going to go, as long as it's broadly beneficial to our customers. And a few of you in this room have actually already taken advantage of that. And then continued growth through build, partner, buy, which we'll talk about. We also reset our vision and mission. Our vision and mission was really poor before. So was our SEO. It was own your aftermarket, which means nothing, because aftermarket is so broad. It's warranty, it's RMA, it's parts, it's so much, which we'll also talk about later. But we were getting like dealers and distributors on our website. I had people calling me saying, what do you guys do? So we reset everything from our vision, mission down to our values to really clarify where we're going. So our vision is our vision is a world where all equipment makers and owners are seamlessly connected to keep equipment running. And that's backed by our mission to help manufacturers and their partners ensure every part fits, order is right, and repair succeeds, enabled by Documoto. And their partners is there because everyone in this room is a manufacturer. However, we have a whole other customer base that are fleet owners on the transit and rail side of things. So LA Metro, Chicago Transit Authority, And they buy Documoto and work with us because we are able to integrate to their asset management platforms. We also integrate with Smart Equip, which is used by United Rentals, Sunbelt, so manufacturers can push content in real time to fleet owners. So we're really about connecting manufacturers to the people that are actually own your equipment as well. Our values before were almost identical to M1's, actually. They were transparency, trust. They're very vague stuff that you see on a wall. So we also looked at that as a leadership team. And what we did is we said, what represents the best of Documoto? If we look at, the people who have really shown at the organization, as well as the people who didn't represent the best of us, what do we want to really make sure that every single person in our company represents? And we landed on these 4 values, which really dictate how we build, how we support and partner with you guys. So the first is make mighty moves. We are small, but we are agile, and we're able to use our size as the strength to pivot. We also hire people who are self-sufficient and take ownership of their work, decisions, and growth. Being a smaller company, everyone wears a lot of hats, and they have to be able to really sometimes punch above their weight and grow within the organization. Execute without ego. So this actually comes from Valstone. We had to align to their values as well. And there's our, it's not about me, but we. It's not about what we do, but who we serve. And it's not about comfort, but progress. And of course, we're always going to check our egos at the door and stay grounded in facts. The next is listen, respect, act. So we put employees and customers at the center of the enterprise, caring deeply and listening intently, but never compromising on integrity or our purpose as a business. And finally, earn trust. Hopefully you guys, all of you have a customer success manager. You've all worked with a number of people at this business. And hopefully what you've seen is that we're reliable, consistent, and responsive. It's non-negotiable for the people that work within Documoto. And that we're always working to do what's right for the greater good of our customers and employees, not just the loudest voice in the room. Moving on to the product. Again, our messaging before was own your aftermarket. And we were like, that just doesn't make sense to the market. So what we've repositioned as is really the most flexible parts catalog platform on the planet. We are one of the only parts catalog and service content distribution solutions out there that allows automation and has tools like Page Builder and a way to build a table of contents from scratch, robust access controls, tagging, the ability to relate content. And all of that data is coming from these systems here. You can automate information using our APIs, our XML structure into Documoto, which is your gold source of truth for parts data and service content. And we're really positioning ourselves as where your 2D and 3D parts data and service documentation, you can get it wherever you need it. We've already built a lot of features around this. And this is all kind of backed by, we are an enterprise-grade solution to help manufacturers improve parts identification, increase aftermarket revenue, reduce ordering errors, centralizing product and service information, all through integrated and fully interoperability. And we do this with all of these here. So we're powered by 2D, 3D. You guys will see AI soon, where we have a really new cool feature that we're launching today that I'll show you in our breakout session later. It's an AI PDF ripper. That's what we're calling it. You'll see it. And then again, interoperability. So best in class 2D, best in class 3D with the acquisition of Cadshare and their technology. We're fully interoperable. Because we have XML structured content, we're actually AI ready. You can take your data from Documoto, feed it to AI, and it knows what to do with it. You feed AI a PDF, it gets lost. It doesn't have the context that it needs to be useful. We also introduced product pages. So now we have equipment-centric navigation and organization. We have everything from PDF, video, image support to now microsites, which you'll see a lot of with Capstone later and how they're using it. We have enterprise-grade features like access controls, customization for multiple brands. And then, of course, we are hosted in AWS. We're modern, secure, performant, scalable, and we're also working on SOC 2 Type 2 this year. It's a high priority for us, so really increasing that even more. Like, we've been following the principles of SOC 2 for some time, but actually proving to our customers in the market that we have that certification too. I'll bring that. What's weird. All right. Next up, market and strategy. So 2024, I think I've talked to a lot of you guys about this, but in 2024, I was the director of product, and I spent a ton of time with equipment owners, dealers, distributors, really on site with end users that use Documoto, so I could learn how better to build features like you guys have seen the improved table of contents and BOM searching and the ability to copy a part number from a BOM. That all comes from that research that we did in 2024. And because we've been focused on less major bets, we've been able to do more small features that really benefit usability and workflow. But this year, we spent a lot more time at events, educational industry events. So 2025, Paul and I, our director of engineering, we spent time at a 3D conference. Andy and I went to a conference to learn more about manufacturing challenges in the market there. So really digging in on like your guys' pain points rather than the end users. And what we've learned over the last year is that, obviously the aftermarket and everything else is changing faster than it ever has before, but processes and content strategies are not keeping up with expectations. So 5 years ago, it was probably okay for someone to have to call you, get a part number from you, place an order through a customer support person. But that's no longer acceptable today. And you guys are all ahead of some manufacturers because you've implemented Documoto, but that's the baseline expectation. And there are many manufacturers who are behind in that regard. And at the same time, a lot of organizations are still trying to support those expectations with those disconnected pieces of data that I mentioned, spreadsheets, PDFs being emailed, OneDrive solutions. In addition, their technology stack is completely fragmented. So their service history is in one place, their parts data is in Documoto, they have pricing in ERP, the dealer is emailing support because they can't find the information they need for a warranty claim. And further, while a 400-page PDF is technically needed for compliance reasons still for service and operations, it's not how your end users want to consume information anymore. A technician in the field who's outside in the rain, who wants to solve a problem in 10 minutes, does not want to scan through a 400-page PDF to find what they need. And in that vein, what users do expect today is they need to be able to search for what they need, find it quickly, but understand how to do what they need to do in a task, mobile, and video-first experience. As an example, if you guys wanted to replace a fence post, the first thing that you're going to do is go to YouTube. And you are going to look at a 5 to 10 minute video on how to replace the fence post. You don't want to see a video on how to install an entire fence. You don't want to have a manual on how to install that entire fence. So users are expecting video-first task-based information, and content strategies are not really keeping up with that. And Documoto, of course, helps with this. We do support video. We support the ability to relate information. You can relate a video to a part, but we're not seeing a lot of people actually keeping up with that expectation. And of course, everyone wants AI right now, but AI is only as good as the information you put into it. And again, as I just mentioned, PDFs do not cut it. Structured data is really necessary for AI. You need to be able to feed it XML or data pulled from APIs that actually has context into what you're feeding it. This is an instruction. This is a header. This is a diagram. That helps AI to really work much more efficiently and provide better information. So we also looked at, in addition to the market, how we fit into the market. And so, as you guys all know this, but on the left is the equipment life cycle. So design, engineer, production, delivery, and then there's aftermarket, which is two aspects from our perspective. It's support and service and retirement. So remarkets, recyclers. There's some aspect of delivery where Documoto comes into play. When really big equipment ends up on site, people will use Documoto to inspect it and find parts that may have broken in transit. But we're really primarily support and service. And support and service is complicated. So when we said own your aftermarket, there's no way, right? Like, we don't do all of this. We don't do warranty, service execution. We're not an ERP system. Some people use us for some training content, but we're also not a traditional LMS. What we do is portals and self-service, parts identification and B2B online sales, and service content. But all of that data, your parts data and your service information, has value in these other systems, right? When someone's submitting a warranty claim, they still need to know the part number for the warranty. Same thing with an RMA. When they're working in their install-based management tool and they have a work order open, it'd be really helpful if they could access a manual on how to do the work that they're doing. And same with field service execution. So your service content and parts identification information is super valuable and it belongs everywhere. We just don't do that necessarily in our application itself today. So the way that we operate now and how we look at things is, should we build it? We look at that wheel and we say, should we build it, buy it, partner to offer it, or let our customers connect to it? So a perfect example of connection is we offer real-time ERP integrations. You can pull pricing information, availability and lead time. You can push an order from Documoto into ERP. That's a connection point. The buy it, Catch 3D, ended up trying to build it, decided it would be more efficient to buy it. And the other thing, this is a crazy diagram. I won't walk you through all of it. But we also have a lot of partners and we're trying to map out where they play. But some of these, we just want to partner. For us to build out a best-in-class warranty solution would take an entire team for probably more than a year. Whereas now we can actually offer warranty through our partner, and we can integrate with Optimum Info to provide your parts data directly in the warranty workflows that they have there. Install-based management, we have another partner in Title. So if you have installed equipment, they help to identify revenue opportunities, equipment that's been in the field for some time that you haven't sent a field service tech out to or an account executive. So they help identify opportunities, and then we help close it because we're integrated there with parts identification and service content. On the right side here, you'll see, again, we have a set of customers that are fleet owners, transit and rail. So all of those EAM platforms, the asset management platforms on the dark blue there, we do integrate with IBM Maximo, Hexagon, Trapeze. We have partnerships with a lot of third-party integrators there. And then SmartEquip is a very strategic partnership that we have to integrate directly to, again, those big rental companies, manufacture content directly there. So to put a fine point on this overall, we believe that your aftermarket cannot be managed with software silos. So our strategy is to build, partner, and buy, and ultimately connect your parts and service data wherever you need it. It's for the same goal we've always had, right? As Documoto, the value prop we've always positioned ourselves with is we want to help you sell more parts, reduce support calls into your support team, emails, so your operational costs, and support equipment more efficiently. So helping you to integrate everywhere. And what we want to do is cover that entire wheel in some way or another. Now, I do want to be clear, this does not mean that we are going to stop building in the product. You see build is right there. We're just going to be really deliberate about what we build. So as an example, kits and assemblies make perfect sense to build into Documoto because the parts data is in Documoto. So we're not doing that today, but you guys need the ability to kit items. So if someone adds a component from a kit, we can recommend that service kit in place of the part number. We know that's something that's missing and we need to build it. Another example is 3D. We know we want that directly in the platform because you want to have the flexibility of a 2D or a 3D catalog. Whereas warranty is much, much bigger and something we'd rather partner on.